After a fourfold growth in GDP during the last 2 decades, and in 2020, liberation of internationally recognized territories of Azerbaijan from Armenian occupation, Azerbaijan is now facing 3 P challenges. First of all, post-conflict. The second one, post-industrial. And the last but not least, post-oil challenge. These are developmental challenges. Let me focus on the first P, post-conflict challenge of Azerbaijan. And in order to meet this challenge, Mr. President Ilham Aliyev adopted the Great Return Program, state program, because we understand that this strategy cannot be implemented in vacuum. Multifaceted environment, context matters. And that's why this program is very important, and takes holistic approach, covers all issues. I mean, socio-economic, cultural, political, operational issues, and aiming at sustainable development, including green zone, digital transformation, social capital, smart cities, so on. Azerbaijan introduced its own post-conflict reconstruction model, relying on its own resources. As Abhijit Banerjee and Esther Duflo mentioned in their best-selling book, this is good economics for hard times. I mean, in post-conflict period of Azerbaijan. And from that point of view, we have to take into account mid-term expenditure framework of Azerbaijan, because Azerbaijan has mid-term expenditure framework in place. And please take into account that mid-term expenditure framework covers 3 major pillars. First of all, available resources, then ongoing expenditures, and the last but not least point, expenditure ceiling. And within these limited resources, we have to introduce a Great Return Program. And this is a very challenging issue, because at the first stage, between 2022 and 2026, Azerbaijan plans to spend more than $20 billion for Great Return, which is more than annual GDP of Armenia. And therefore, monitoring and evaluation of this Great Return Program is a very crucial issue. And that's why my Center for Analysis of Economic Reforms and Communication has been tasked by Mr. President to run monitoring and evaluation based on OECD DAC criteria. Because this Great Return Program, let me say, that is based on problem-driven iterative adaptation methodology developed by Harvard Growth Lab. By the way, after receiving this task from Mr. President in terms of monitoring and evaluation, we preferred result-based monitoring and evaluation. Because in any case, we cover activities and financial reporting as well. But if you cannot see results, you cannot evaluate your success. If you cannot see your success, you cannot reward it. If you cannot reward your success, you are probably rewarding failure. And that's why OECD DAC criteria-based approach in terms of monitoring and evaluation is very important, because it ensures, on one hand, transparency and accountability, on the other hand, efficiency, efficacy, and sustainability of Great Return Program. From that point of view, we introduced real-time monitoring and evaluation program, which has 3 pillars, by the way. First of all, location intelligence, then camera control, And the last point, monthly updated progress report, which covers priorities, activities, and indicators like output, outcome, and impact. Let me start from location intelligence. We introduced interactive map, and in this interactive map, we created linkage between all activities within the Great Return Program on one hand, and location intelligence or marking on map on the other hand. So such kind of linkage, location intelligence, gives advantage for us to make this program more sophisticated, optimized, and flexible. Because within this location intelligence, we have tools, for example, to measure distance, to measure area, or to compare previous and current situation in order to identify dynamics within this implementation process. So location intelligence is very important part of real-time monitoring and evaluation. As I mentioned, we included camera control, in other words, video surveillance. Video surveillance goes far beyond camera control. It's very cutting-edge technology that provides video content analytics, and it embraces IoT, Internet of Things, powered technology that provides very flexible opportunity for government to identify situation. And in this way, government keeps track of every action, which is very important for planning process as well, because we plan in this case in advance of demand. And one more opportunity in this direction, of course, implication of AI. We implemented AI. For example, I can ask progress report about Agdam Industrial Park, and AI based on ChatGPT, very personalized NLP for our portal, provides progress report covering not only achievements within this industrial park, but also major opportunities, challenge, risk, even solutions for Agdam Industrial Park. Mustafa Suleyman, Oxford dropout and Microsoft AI CEO, noted in his very well-known best-selling book, The Coming Wave, that artificial capable intelligence will tackle very complex issues. So from that point of view, such kind of GovTech within this monitoring and evaluation process is very important to push forward this implementation of the Great Return Program. Let me switch to that implementation of this strategy in terms of economy. On one hand, the government of Azerbaijan introduced hardware, including demining, construction of critical infrastructure, including highways, railways, social objects, so on, residential buildings. On the other hand, the government of Azerbaijan introduced software, in other words, business environment, friendly business environment with economic incentives like special zones or privilege in terms of taxes, customs, migration, and so on. And such kind of symbiosis of hardware and software introduce breeding ground for sustainable development, which covers major global trends like green development and digital transformation. And within this strategy, we have special clusters in Karabakh and Eastern Zangezur economic regions of Azerbaijan. Let me start from the first cluster with the center of city of Aghdam. By the way, Aghdam became a city with about 100,000 inhabitants by 2035. Is a center of cluster together with surrounding regions like Khojavend, Khojala, and so on, to form cluster for agriculture, service industry, and light industry. By the way, Aghdam Industrial Park is the second biggest special economic zone after Sumgait Chemical Park in Azerbaijan. So the second cluster along the river of Araz, including districts like Fizuli, Zengilan, Kubatlı, and Jabrayil. This cluster introduced, first of all, green energy. By the way, the potential of green energy in Karabakh and Eastern Zangezur is more than 10,000 megawatt. And newly established Jabrayil Energy Hub is ready to send this green energy potential through Zangezur corridor, Turkey to European market. And in this way, Azerbaijan, as old traditional energy partner of European Union, switched its role from the traditional source like hydrocarbon to the renewable source like wind, solar, so on. By the way, BP, together with the Ministry of Energy of Azerbaijan, initiated a solar plant in Zengilan. It's a very new coming solar plant in liberated territories, and message for other investors to come to Karabakh and Eastern Zangezur and to invest in green energy. Along this green energy, this cluster introduced transport and logistics hub and agriculture as well. In its turn, Kalbajar and Lachin district is called Urals of Azerbaijan. By the way, this is a Lesser Caucasus mountain which is rich in ore and non-ore deposits, and from that point of view, mining industry is very usual for Kalbajar and Lachin. Along mining industry, of course, tourism, cattle bidding is very traditional sectors for Kalbajar, Lachin. And one more cluster, I would say, Shusha. The city of Shusha, the capital, cultural capital of Azerbaijan, has been designated cultural capital of Islamic world for 2024, by the way. And Shusha introduced itself as a capital of creative industry and tourism, and repairs its position as music conservatory of Azerbaijan. So such kind of clusterial, how to say, approach in terms of development of Karabakh and Eastern Zangezur gives a big opportunity not only for Azerbaijan but whole region as well. According to our estimations based on equilibrium model, the share of Karabakh and Eastern Zangezur economy will reach to 5–10% of non-oil GDP by 2030. So Karabakh is Azerbaijan. According to presidential decree, we have operational headquarters, which covers all government bodies under one umbrella. And under this operational headquarters, we have working groups and secretary. This is in charge for implementation of Great Return Program. So I I don't think that there would be any misinformation because we collect all this information from all government bodies. On the other hand, we provide as a center monitoring and evaluation of all state programs. And now we have big data, and this data comes from our location intelligence, video surveillance, and monthly reporting by government bodies in terms of activities and finance. And when we collect all this big data, this is opportunity for data-driven decision making. And that's why we have opportunity, first of all, compile big data, then using AI and other GovTech, just very smart decision making process. So there couldn't be any misinformation in this case. According to history, we have two stage of post-conflict construction model after First World War and after Second World War. Azerbaijan introduced very unique post-conflict reconstruction model based on GovTech. This is very unique and the first time ever. You can ask from Google Gemini or Microsoft Copilot or ChatGPT, and they can provide you a report about post-conflict construction model. And you can see that beyond Azerbaijan, there's not any such kind of unique and GovTech-based, AI-based approach on implementation, monitoring, and evaluation of post-conflict reconstruction model. We are open for sharing our knowledge because this is AI revolutionary period which covers knowledge sharing, and we understand knowledge is more important asset than oil, and it will be our pleasure to share our knowledge on reconstruction model for the development of other nations.